Did you know that the word Japan means land of the rising sun? This is because people believed that Japan was the first country to see the sun rise out of the east each morning. I've always found the culture of Japan interesting and thought it'd be a great topic to research for this speech. I came up with three main points to talk about, the first being the geography of the land, the next being what influences the people from Japan, and finally the languages that the people speak. Japan has a coastline of over 18,000 miles and is made up of almost 7,000 islands. Of these islands, only 430 of them are occupied by people, and this is due to the fact that over 70% of the land in Japan is taken up by mountains. They also have over 200 volcanoes on these islands, and 60 of them are still considered to be active today. They also experience about 1,500 earthquakes each year, and this is due to the three tectonic plates that collide near the coast of Japan. Japan also has a climate that is similar to what we have here in the United States, consisting of spring, summer, fall, and winter. But one major difference is that in the middle of their summer, they experience a 3 to 4 week period where it just rains nonstop. This is when most farmers take advantage and plant their rice crop for the season. I also did some research on when the best time to go to Japan would be, and I found that spring is most favorable, but it's said to avoid this thing called Golden Week, which is the longest holiday of the year, and it takes place the last week of April every year. They say not to go during this time because, being that it's the longest holiday, everywhere you go is going to be packed with people. Next, we're going to talk about what influences the people from Japan. Religion is one of these main factors. Religion isn't a huge part of everyday life in Japan, but they see it as more of a moral way of living rather than a concept that has to be preached over all the time, unlike what we tend to believe here in the United States. They also believe that it is a private matter and shouldn't be publicized. It should be more of a family matter. And so if you were to attend a graduation ceremony in Japan, you wouldn't hear any mention of religion during that ceremony. But if you attended a wedding or a burial service or even the birth of a child, they do have religious practices that they're doing during this time. Another thing that influences them a lot is their food. They have specific cities around the country that specialize in certain kinds of food. Like one city will specialize in noodles while another specializes in fish. I show this on a map that has where you can find all different kinds of fish throughout the entire country. One of their must-have staple foods is rice. They are taught from a very young age that rice is never to be wasted. They know that the harvesting process of rice is very strenuous and it's long and tiring, and so they are taught that wasting rice is just wasting somebody else's hard work. The last topic that I want to discuss is the literacy rate and language of the Japanese people. Their literacy rate is close to 100%, and it is believed that this is because of how driven their education system is. Japanese is their official language, but there are also 14 other languages that are spoken in Japan. But due to the fact that Japanese takes up 99% of what the people speak, these languages are considered to be extinct. I researched the origin of the Japanese language, and I'd like to quote one guy here. He said, "One of the weirdest things about Japanese is that no one really knows where it came from." He goes on and talks about how there are many different conspiracy theories about how the language came to be. There are some strange ones, such as ancient aliens coming down and telling the Japanese ancestors that the only way for them to advance in the world is to adopt this language into their culture. Then there are some more believable ones, such as horseback riders traveling through the country and spreading their own language with the people who are already there. There are many others, but these are just a few that caught my eye. These are just a few of the main aspects of the culture of Japan. There are many other things that contribute to the culture of the Japanese people. Japan's geography allows you to enjoy the climate that is much like what we have here in the United States. Religion and food affect a large part of the lives of in Japan, along with language that helps draw everyone together despite the many languages that they speak in Japan. Thank you for listening.